So thank you everyone for our Data AI Insights podcast. Another great episode. We are today with Nancy from iTech. Nancy, thank you for joining this podcast from ConverSight AI podcast. Looking forward to understand your role, iTech. And like today, I think the topic is more to discuss about what is happening in the construction space and how I can be part of that in the construction phase, how AI can come and deliver insights and improve the visibility and help you in forecasting and all that, right? So looking forward to this chat.
Yeah, Ganesh, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your podcast. Over at iTech, the partnership between ConverSight and iTech and Acumatica is so very important to us. We think that from an AI perspective and your analytics perspective that you guys offer and bring to the table is so very important to every single one of our customers. So thanks for allowing us this platform to communicate it out to the masses.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to collaboration as well. So Nancy, to start with, the audience, what we are looking at here, like our audience are like a lot of data and the AI insights, a lot of um, bi- from a supply chain, finance, sales, that's a functional. And then from a technical side, a lot of people with data analytics, AI, digital, that's kind of the background. So they will greatly help. It will greatly help for them if you could just share about your role and then double click iTech. And then
Yeah.
we go to the subject.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've been in ERP for over 25 years. Started with legacy products, GP, Solomon, SAP. I've kind of touched a lot of them. Epicor, Plex. So I've been around for a long time in this industry. And about 10 years ago, I had an opportunity to take a Great Plains practice and migrate them to Acumatica. And that's when I first got
Nice.
the taste of Acumatica. So really kind of been in the industry, both from a construction standpoint and also manufacturing. Those are two of the biggest verticals inside of Acumatica. And
Okay.
about 2 years ago, I joined iTech as a senior ERP sales executive, something like that,
Okay.
some kind of title. And so
But you are
basically,
more than sales. When I had a discussion with you, you are like a subject matter expert on this construction side.
yeah, well, it really does help because I was in private industry for a while before
Mm,
actually implementing and selling Acumatica. So I've had the opportunity to see firsthand, especially in the construction industry, where things could be better and how we could improve the lives of our general contractors or even subcontractors just by embracing technology, AI, data analytics, and data lakes for that matter. So from like a digital transformation standpoint.
Let's hear a little bit about iTech. What do you guys do?
Yeah, so we've been in business for over 25 years. We started back then just as an MSP. So we were a managed service provider, really and harnessing really life changing and new innovations when it came to information technology. About 10 years ago, we founded our Acumatica practice at iTech. Since then, we've been going strong in the Acumatica ecosystem. We are
Nice.
happy to say that we have never failed an implementation. And so I think we support right now 190 companies on the Acumatica platform. And so our company is based out of Ocoee, Florida, but we're sprinkled everywhere. Before we hit play here, I was just mentioning that I'm all the way up in Minnesota where it's a balmy -13 right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm going to have to go down to headquarters to do some work here real soon because getting out of Minnesota is probably a good thing. And on top of that, I know you're going to be joining us, but we have the Acumatica Summit coming up out in
Yes.
Seattle. So that'll be I'll trade the snow and the cold for a little bit of rain any day.
Yep. Yep. So iTech in North America, so you are providing the ERP consulting, implementation, all that
Yep.
services.
Yeah, so we're your one-stop shop. We're basically I think one of the reasons that we've been so successful in this space is that we treat each customer like they're an extension of their business. So we are an extension of their business. If they can't do it, if they're struggling to do something, we're going to come right alongside them. We understand their industry really well, and we also know what their standard operating procedures are. it makes us really, really successful in the space today. So
I know we are going to talk more on construction, but what other industries you cover? You said manufacturing, right?
yeah, so Acumatica as a whole, it has back in 2008 when it went to market, it was AP, AR, banking, finance, GL, just your standard ERP
Yeah,
system, enterprise resource planning. After that, they started going vertical, construction being a vertical that they wanted to tackle because they saw in the actual ecosystem out there from an ERP standpoint, there wasn't a really good mid-market SaaS-based ERP system that was going to handle the project accounting and complex reporting needs for an actual construction industry. And they went manufacturing. In addition, we have e-commerce, we have field service, we have professional services. Really, the world's your oyster when it comes to Acumatica because it's so flexible. And with that open API, if you have something over here that you love, we can actually integrate it right into Acumatica. So
absolutely.
giving us a lot of flexibility from industry and micro verticals and stuff like that. We can actually come alongside a lot of different companies and provide a really good solution for them.
Absolutely. Spot on, with our recent partnership, how you are providing, customers with a great ERP solutions like Acumatica, then how ConverSight is bringing that analytics and AI in how you can get those insights. So
Ganesh,
yeah, great
so
partnership.
important that we come alongside with you guys, and especially for our construction companies out there. So many of these companies have hundreds and hundreds of projects that they're running at the same time, and it's really hard to put a line in the sand and say, "Okay, we're going to switch ERP systems, take everything from this old system and import it or actually migrate it over to the new one or run simultaneous systems running at the same time." Where if we leverage a company like ConverSight and we're able to create that data link with that legacy information, we can turn off that old ERP, but never lose the content that it actually had and was we were working on. So very, very important.
So in the current construction space, when you think about digitalization overall, is it fairly digitalized, or do they all have an ERP like Acumatica in this case?
No, no, they don't. And I think that construction and manufacturers as a whole are some of the slowest one to adopt change. And
Mm,
we know that implementing a new ERP, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, a great day to implement a
yeah.
new ERP system. Nobody does that ever. So having these companies that are already a little bit timid about making these changes and change management, it's a little bit slower. So it's a little bit longer of
Yeah.
a sales cycle. And we really have to prove that what we're going to bring to the table and what we're going to actually leverage is going to benefit them in the long run. They're not just doing all this to create these manual procedures and have all these data silos and everything else. Yeah, it's definitely it's not as quick to adopt, I guess, a new ERP in these industries.
So if I'm right, like in a typical construction company, there are a lot of things, right? Like about the project and the status of the project, and then if it is delayed, why it's delayed, and what material is causing the delay. So a lot of visibility they need. Is it like all about visibility and profitability? You think?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. And
Mm,
the problem with a lot of these customers that haven't adopted a new modern based ERP solution is that they're pulling this information from 18 different places. And then they're
mm.
having to combine it into a one report. Maybe it's a WIP report. But by the time they combine all those data silos, it's out of date. It's not even the most up to date information. So making those pivots and changing the way that we're going to run this because we're exceeding our budget or doing that, they don't have real time data that they can quickly pivot and make decisions on. In the end, it's a real problem in these industries.
So this basically, you take us, your ideal customer, like how many projects are running and why is it a challenge? Can they not do that in an Excel or in a simple
Yeah,
ERP?
you're absolutely right. Typically in construction, when we're talking about margin, a lot of the time these margins for a GC are so slim. Or maybe
Okay.
only when they're setting these projects up, they're only maybe set to make 2 to 10% profit. But where they are making the actual profit is on change orders after the fact, after the project is running. Now, if you have all of these different data silos that are sitting outside your system and you're not able to capture that information, you might be making decisions on projects that aren't that they're wrong decisions. You might not need to because the change order is actually giving you an increased margin on this particular project itself. So it is a real problem with inside those legacy systems.
So it's basically bringing all the information together, give them the high visibility so that they one have a good status. Second is good control on the change management because that's where they can make some money.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Another thing that we look at too is, especially within Acumatica, we can get you to the point where we've got that WIP report and you've got all your change orders and you've got your budgets in the system and you're doing your billing out of the system and everything looks good. But where I think ConverSight coming alongside of Acumatica is such a key in this industry is that now we can take and run the analytics behind the scenes. So I can output a WIP report, and that's great. It's going to give me all my totals, all my numbers, and all those different buckets. But what it's not going to tell me is take, for example, my three projects that are maybe exceeding budget by 10%. Tell me what the common factors are with those three projects. Do we have this?
Why?
Yeah. Do we have a new estimator that's in there? Do we have a specific project manager that maybe isn't updating their information accurately? Do we have new crews that are out on this project that maybe need a little bit more training? Or did we have problems with compliance? So did we not have the right lien waivers pulled? Did we not have the certificate of insurance, all those different things. If we can actually ask ConverSight to do a little bit deeper of a dive on these particular items, it's only going to benefit our customers so much more on the construction side.
So when you think about this construction companies, so who in the organization is thinking about digital and AI solutions? What's their role?
Yeah, it kind of depends a little bit on the client itself. Usually, it's someone in that CEO, CTO, FO position that needs and is craving more accurate, up-to-date data. Some of these construction firms are a little bit smaller and they don't have a chief technical officer.
Officer, yeah.
So it kind of, it's a blend between the CEO and CFO. Usually it's someone in the C-suite that is raising their white flag and saying, "Help, I need more insight into our data that's out there today."
Got it. Got it. So now I know with your wide experience, you have seen companies of different level of maturity. Overall, as an industry, do you see these leaders are already asking for AI or they are still struggling on collecting the data? Where is the industry maturity?
And that's a great question. Because it's not always completely intuitive. They all come to the table wanting AI and they want large language modeling but so many times they don't know what they don't know. Well, they don't necessarily, AI is this big buzzword out there today. It's something it grabs people's attention and then they don't necessarily know exactly when do we want it? We want it right now. And what do we want? We don't know. That kind of thing. So what we can do from an iTech perspective or a ConverSight perspective is we can come alongside the customer and say, here's things that we think that this would really benefit your company
Yeah.
to actually put in place. Um, and then show them this is how long it took you to run that report out of these siloed systems. This is how long it took us to grab that report, set up an automated dashboard and an alert to
Yeah.
go to a text message or a phone that says, "Hey, this is exceeding budget on these three projects in the system today." That's so many times. I think that the first initial call when I hop on with customers that say, "We really want AI. What do you really want in AI?" And they usually can't tell me exactly what they want. So then it's our job to kind of caution them to say it's a big world out there, and the most important thing is keeping your intellectual property safe and not putting things out there and making sure that when we are running these analytics and doing this predictive analytics, are we keeping all your data safe? Because this is your livelihood.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, it's really important to me to caution people. Well, don't just go through your financial P&L out there on ChatGPT. We don't want that for anybody. So
Yeah. I got it. So basically, it's AI or analytics or digital. Like we can implement a lot of technologies, but it's a tool. It's a how to do it. We
Mhm.
really need to connect to their problems. Do they lack visibility, or are they missing opportunities on the change management, as you said, or they are missing the schedules because of some of the critical materials, right? So
Right,
I think understanding their problem and then suggesting what AI can potentially do, right?
right.
So it's not a nice looking toy, rather it's really doing something for them.
Well, and the nice thing about ConverSight and Acumatica and iTech is that we're not coming in saying mandating that a
Yeah,
this is the solution and this is the only solution for you. We want to listen to the problem. We want to actually say, we understand and we've heard it before. And here's how in the past we fixed it for XYZ customer similar to you, but giving them options and letting them have the final decision and where they go from a digital transformation journey is really important to the end customer too.
so it's obviously based on you mentioned is giving them the generate those reports like whip report and dynamically quickly, and then help them on the change request, or when the project is overrun, why is it? Because of that estimator, or what is happening? Is
Hmm.
finding that common factors. Otherwise it'll take a lot of time to do it, rather let the AI help you do it, kind of a thing.
Exactly. So I could run that same whip report and I can output it really, really fast inside of Acumatica and it looks great because we're operating under that one umbrella ERP system. But now if I take those three projects that are exceeding budget, I have to do the drill down of each one of those different projects and see what the
Definitely.
underlying data is. Go into the project itself, pull up the project manager on it, and look at the estimator, look at the tools we're using, look at the data catalog the inventory. Was there a procurement issue from a supply chain standpoint? You really have to do those one by one by one, whereas something like Conversate coming into the mix, you're gonna be able to automate a lot of those,
Yeah.
which is huge. And I don't know of another application out there in the construction industry that does that as well as you guys. So it's great.
Yep, we're getting there. Yeah, absolutely. So from we spoke about this, the CEO and the CFO, and some organization they have CTO. Um, in obviously with the last 2 years with all the chat GPTs to all the AI going on, there is every board is asking, hey, what are we doing with the AI, right? For example. So do you hear this conversation that we want to leverage AI, or do you hear more like, if we have this problem, how do we solve? Is there a pressure to get AI? Like
Yeah.
when we are talking to the market, right? A lot of companies say that a lot of AI pilots don't succeed. Most of the time, when we connect with our customers, if they have a clear problem in their mind, and how the problem, solving that problem, what it will save, that is actually helping them. The POC or pilot, that implementation is very successful, rather than just sake of doing it AI, right?
Right.
But do you see that hunger in the in the construction industry more from a problem centric instead of a solution or a AI?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're trying to do more with less, right? With less
Mm-hmm.
people, with less,
Yeah.
and we're not going to be able to do that when if they want to continue with the growth trajectory that they've got and not have to add humans and add people. So
Yes.
they want to continue to grow at this rate, at this rapid rate that they're going at, and yet something's got to give. And so that's a lot of times where that AI model and that predictive analytics and all of those things are coming into play to help those customers. But yes, they're coming to us with this is a problem. I've got data silos. I can't trust my WIP report. I've got inventory control issues. I've got this supply chain that is just outside of the norm and I can't manage it. They're coming to
Yeah.
us with those problems, and then we're turning around and saying, okay, here's how we think we can make your life better. And then doing proof of concepts always. I'm a firm believer in when I do all my own solution architecting on the Acumatica side, I build out a complete custom demonstration that includes their part numbers, includes their vendors, includes their customers, their
Okay.
projects. They're giving me this information. I'm taking it from a stage 300, a stage 100, a peach tree, or a stage 50, and I'm actually combining that, running that into the Acumatica system so they can see how we can automate their life and how we can take them from you're at step 1 of your digital journey with the addition of ConverSight, with the addition of Acumatica. We're going to take 3 giant leaps in your digital transformation journey, forward
Mm.
and not have to add the personnel behind it.
So one, you said clearly the productivity and the higher visibility we get, and then we can also help them to be a lot more forward looking or proactive, right? So
Absolutely. That's
so
so important.
yeah, right. Some of the projects even before it overrun, we can probably create those potential risk of this
Right.
project getting running over. Yeah, yeah.
Right. And so a lot of customers that come to us and that are looking for a new ERP system, they're not ready to be done with their old system because there's people that go back 10 years and I think we did a project like that 10 years ago. Let's go look at where we ended up with it. How did we bid that? How did it come in? How did we get awarded that project? And taking all of that information, but wouldn't it be nice if we could just ask a bot that said, "Hey, go scour the data that we had out there and tell us where we were the most successful in this type of project."
Projects. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Oh,
what we say. You hire Athena and ask a question.
I
So ask
know. I
Athena.
love Athena. She's the best. Yeah,
So now AI can do a lot of things. And obviously, we are bringing analytics, right? So in terms of the forecasting, planning, those kind of a stuff. And when you think about that, you need a lot of data, like from your project data. Sometimes, as you said, supply chain data. Are they ready? Is it all in an ERP already? Or they have to go consume some third party data outside and all that? Are they ready all the data in ERP or they have multiple systems?
So if they are in fact on Acumatica, then yes, we would be a one-stop shop and a data reservoir for all of that information. But let's say, for example, that they're mid-process of implementing a new ERP system. And I know we are highlighting Acumatica because iTech is an Acumatica. We only are Acumatica, but I know you guys probably integrate with many other different ERP software. So we could just say ERP. They're in the middle of an ERP
Yeah,
implementation. They still need that old legacy data 100%. They can't do away with that, even from a financial reporting standpoint. Do we really want to bog down the new ERP with all of that legacy and historic information? Or do we want to keep that in place, be able to refer to it, still be able to report off of it, but not have to bring it into the new ERP system? The latter of that is so nice when they do that because it's kind of like the customer is just starting from scratch. This is brand new. We're going to adopt best practices. We're going to have a lot easier of a time from an implementation standpoint. But you're right. You're going to have to pull from multiple different sources to capture all that data that we're either going to A, fill in Acumatica, or B, put into some kind of data link and be able to run analytics behind it.
yeah. So I know we focused a little bit on the ERP and data analytics, AI, like what we both our companies are covering. Little bit outside, I want to learn on the construction itself. Are there bigger, larger AI impact in the industry? I know we are seeing a lot of robots coming and helping in some construction, doing some heavy stuff. Are you seeing it, or is the leaders when you are talking to them, are they looking at that, like be it robotics, be it AI?
Yeah, you can't turn on the TV today without seeing that. And
Yeah,
especially I know in China, they're already
yeah, we are already
hiring
hearing that,
robots
right?
to build those and taking the risk of injury and safety
Mm,
just this is great. Don't put a person on that scaffolding. Put a robot there just in case something goes wrong. Another thing that I'm seeing really be embraced even more so in the States than worldwide is wearable technology. Wearable
yes.
technology for the construction groups are there, it's out there and it's awesome. I have the opportunity to speak at Summit next week and I have meta glasses, and so I plan to incorporate my meta glasses and show people how easy it is to not have a mobile device, not have an iPad, not have a computer with me, take a bunch of photographs and upload those to a daily field service log. Just because it's new technology that maybe doesn't necessarily, I don't think Meta actually created their glasses for the construction industry alone, but it is something that it's the construction industry could benefit from it. Wearable vests that help monitor, if somebody's in harsh temperatures, shoot, what did I say, -13 out there today? That's something we wanna make sure our people that are working out on our construction teams are safe and are okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of those I see being embraced from a construction standpoint. They're always I don't know if you probably remember back in the day when we said, "Okay, use your personal cell phone to do XYZ." Um,
Yeah.
and people kind of balked at that and said, "No, I pay for that. That's mine." In the beginning, that's kind of what was we were hearing from the field. "No, we don't wanna wear that. Our bosses are just monitoring us, making sure we're not taking a nap, during the day." But now when it comes down to safety and keeping crews safe, the adoption has been way more widespread. And,
Got it.
it's for the safety of the actual worker and production construction crew member, not for snooping to make sure that Roger isn't taking a nap on a forklift.
Yeah, I think you brought a great point. We can all these variables and more from a safety, security perspective, bringing some of these technologies. It's not just productivity basis; it's also from a safety standpoint, which is a lot more critical, right?
It
So
is.
in
It's
this
very
case,
important.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
now in the software world, for example, you look at we are looking at a lot of these co-pilots of this, like where we can generate a lot of code. So we are optimizing. We don't need that many people to do the same software now type. Obviously, that's pros and cons, right? So you
No.
can look at either way, like, oh, we can do lot with less people, or are we going to have you know people without job, right? So we are looking at all that now, but in construction industry specifically, are there any, concerns, misconceptions? And like, what are you hearing? Are they worried? Are they excited about the AI?
Think, like I mentioned before, construction and manufacturers are never going to be the first one to adopt the latest and
Yes.
greatest new technology.
Yep.
So I think there is some worry there. And to be 100% honest, I want to inflict the fear of God. We don't want your data out there just unprotected and open for everyone, competitors to see. How are they winning those jobs? How are they getting that information? So taking a slower approach to adoption, I think is more what I see in the actual industry. But I think
Yeah,
it's
that is great. Especially as you mentioned, leveraging this digital AI in, through the wearables to get security, safety, and then use something like ConverSight on analytics and talk to your data and integrate your data, that stuff. So it's not really on the core job. It's on the peripherals, and it gives them the productivity, it gives them the visibility, it gives them that safety, right? Security. That's a great
right.
idea.
Well, and we all know, insurance is going through the roof and everything else. So actually leveraging some of these tools that we have in place to help monitor the health and well-being of your workforce is only going to help you from an insurance standpoint too.
Now, coming to readiness of this AI, right? So when, recently, we were working through a university, and we met, 50 plus manufacturing companies in Indiana. And when we were doing that survey, and we did a, kind of session on what AI can do, all that. And the end of it, a lot of, yes, we want to have it, but then, oh, we don't have people who can take this, or we don't have the capital can implement this technology. Then we obviously clarified that you don't need army of people, you don't need a data scientist and all that. So when you are talking to these construction industry leaders, are they do they have the intent to do it, but they don't feel they are ready for it from a resources perspective, budget perspective, ROI perspective? Where do you think the industry is from a readiness?
Yeah, I think that they know that they want it. They know that
Okay.
it would be a really nice to have. Are they ready to completely adopt it immediately? I don't think so.
Okay.
We want to get them there, but sometimes it's baby steps to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's taking a very slow, methodical approach, and I think that helps give them confidence that what they're asking for is right. So many times,
Absolutely.
companies come to us and I know you're in the same boat as I am. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
They've been doing it this way for the last 20 years, and they've made a really great company out of doing it this way. Why would they change it? And what our job is to make them feel comfortable, make them feel like, okay, this is going to benefit, and here's how it's going to benefit, and here's your ROI, and here's how quickly that same report that took you 2 weeks to do is going to take you 5 minutes to do in this system. And
Yeah.
that's how we're going to do it, and give them the confidence that they can trust their numbers too. That's
Yeah,
really important
absolutely.
too. Yeah,
As I mentioned, it's not like we need to go scare them like, oh, this is the AI. Rather,
right,
you have this problem. This is another way, a smart way to solve this. You can't, there is no, 10 years back when I was in this space in data analytics, even to build a data mart or, lake, then bunch of reports for sales or finance. It's like you'll have 10-member team and take 6 months to a year and spend $500,000 to $1 million to deliver something. The same things now is done in like 4 weeks with one or two people, and like AI is doing it. So the industry has evolved so much now, and that benefit should go to them, right? End of the day, all these companies.
right, right. They just want data, and they want it accurate, and they want it timely, and they want it to be able to, if in fact they are running into, maybe some scope creep on specific projects and stuff,
Yeah,
they want to be able to make steadfast, quick decisions, because the margins are so small on a lot of these projects that they need to make them really, really quick in order for them to actually make money in the bottom line and continue growing their business.
absolutely. So my personal thing, like even though we have like over 800 customers or so, lot of those customers where they are small and mid-size, they can't afford like 10 years back, 5 years back. There's no way they can imagine to have a data mart, data lake, reporting, analytics. Now, these companies like from Midwest and all over the country, without hiring army of people, you can't imagine a $100 million company hiring a top-notch data scientist today. It's difficult. We have a lot of resource scarcity on that skill. Now the AI can act like the data scientist to analyze it. So recently, when I was talking to a CEO, and they were like $100 million company, and he has Athena in his phone and ask a question to Athena and get insights instantly. And he was like, Ganesh, you made me a hero, because he was able to show to one of his customers, they were a $3 billion, $4 billion company. Look
Mhm.
at how cool tech we have type, right? So that gave a lot of that pride, right? Wow, the impact what we could create with AI now,
Exactly.
to these companies.
Exactly. Yeah, and we've talked about this, just that these industries are a little slow to adopt change. But if their direct competitor right down the street has already adopted it and is using something like
Yes,
Athena to actually run their business, it's so much easier, and it holds so much weight to say,
yes,
this is how we're doing it and how we solve for these problems. And just bringing that to the table is worth its weight, and yeah, worth it.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think the AI can create a lot of potential, but then it should not exist as a technology. Rather, it should be a solution to a problem what they have, right?
Right,
So
right,
awesome, awesome.
exactly.
Any final thoughts from you for these industry leaders who are listening in from construction? How do they approach this AI?
Yeah, well, I think I would be amiss not to mention, if you are in at any stage in your data transformation journey with your company, if you happen to find yourself in any industry, I know ConverSight, iTech, and Acumatica can really bring a full, overreaching, full circle solution to the table and really help you to grow your business without actually growing your overhead. So we would love to talk to you.
Absolutely. I think our team have a joint webinar. I think in coming up in Q1. I think that's another avenue where we can invite some of these leaders and they can come and ask questions and discuss with their participants.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm speaking at the Acumatica Summit on Wednesday afternoon. Um, it's got the word construction in it and AI or something like that. So do your search on your agenda if you're attending Acumatica Summit. Would love to see you, would love to meet you in person, would love to talk further about any of this. During that session, I'll be doing a little bit with wearable technology, and then I also will be highlighting some of the stuff that Ganesh's team has helped us with from a construction standpoint and Athena and everything else. And then also, yeah, if anybody here is in Minnesota and they want to get together and freeze their butts off and learn a little bit about Acumatica, we have an Acumatica Minnesota users group that we would love to have you be a part of and share your tips and tricks and tools. And I know that Ganesh and some of the people from his team are going to be presenting at one of those events here very shortly. We have a press release on Thursday, and then I think with the webinar you already talked about. What else are we doing together? I think we're
A lot more coming. Yeah, it's just getting started.
exactly.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more coming down the pipe. That's wonderful. But thank you,
Nancy,
Ganesh,
do
for
you,
having me. I
if
really
someone need to connect with you, do you follow LinkedIn? Like, what's the best way to connect you?
Yeah. I am on LinkedIn, Nancy Bielke. I think maybe my middle initials listed as E for Elizabeth. But yeah, look me up. Happy to join and happy to schedule a call if you want to talk further about anything from AI to Acumatica to iTech to ConverSight, all those things. I'm happy to hop on a quick phone call. Yeah, and if you see me in Summit, grab me and say hi.
Awesome. This is great. Thank you for sharing those thoughts, Nancy. It was great to have you part of our Converse Data AI Insights podcast, and looking forward to do another episode later in the year, maybe.
Yeah,
And by
no,
the
that
time we'll
sounds
have,
great.
yeah, we can probably tell a bunch of more customer stories on how our customers are getting that benefit and how they are seeing, experiencing
Yeah, let's do
all
one
that.
with a
Yeah.
customer on and do like a fireside chat
Yeah,
and do a here before
absolutely.
ConverSight and Acumatica and post ConverSight and Acumatica. How does your world look different today? So
Changes. Yeah. Looking
yeah.
forward. Thank you. You have a great rest of the day, and enjoy your conference next week.
All right, that sounds
Let's do
good.
it. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Bye. Thanks a lot.